Hey, welcome back to another Fly Tying with Dave. Today we're tying the olive brown mid-tag Duracell. So like always, we start the thread behind the bead on our barbless partridge hook, and you're going to wind down about halfway, making sure it's nice and tight. Come in with your scissors, your Renomed scissors, and give it a nice snip. And what I'm doing is adding a little bit of thread behind the bead so that it'll stay in place as we add the other materials. For the tail, we want about the length of the shank. It can be a little bit longer, a little shorter if you prefer. I don't think it really matters, but one shank length is what looks right. So come in and cut off the waste material, boop, like that. And now we're gonna add some wire. I'm using black wire because I feel it contrasts really nicely with the olive and brown dubbing. So wrap this all the way back to the bend. And you'll notice that there's already a little taper built in naturally by starting at the top and tying in materials and working down. So with ice dub, this stuff can be tricky to dub. What I like to do is get my fingers a little bit moist and really go ahead and turn hard one direction while pressing pretty firmly and going over it multiple times, you'll get that nice dubbing noodle. And because I have a little bit extra, I wrap up a couple times so I don't have a hump at the back. And then with touching turns, I'm going to come up the shank with the dubbing. As you can see, it puts a really nice taper into the fly and we're ready to rivet. So I like to pull forward and then down, and this keeps the tail fibers from wrapping. I like 4 to 5 wraps of the thread of the wire, and you'll notice I'm counter wrapping this. I feel like it adds durability and helps the ribbing stand out a little bit more. It doesn't get lost in the dubbing quite as much. So a couple turns to secure that, and then you can either cut it, I like to break it off. You get a really nice clean snap right at the fly. There it is. Now we're going to add our UV tag. This is some Glow Bright and it will glow for you. So tie it in and then pull it to get it right where you want it to be. Add some more ice dub. Once again, stuff can be tricky, and really getting in there nice and hard and twisting well will give you good results. I finished the taper with the thorax, and now I come in and cut it about 2.5, 3 millimeters. You just want a nice little tag, and I always cut the tag after doing the thorax so I can see how long it needs to be. Now we're going to split the thread with our Stone Flow thread splitter. I love this tool. It has made doing split thread techniques so much easier. And we're going to insert in our CDC feather with our clip and give it some turns. And you want to spin this really tightly. The nano silk is a little bit smooth, so you want to give it a lot of turns, get it bound in there really well with this technique. So once you have it spun up really, really well, we're just going to wrap it around and stroke the fibers back. So you'll notice I'll do a couple wraps, stroke the fibers back, a couple more, stroke them back, and just keep them back, putting them back so they don't stick forward. If they stick out like that, that's no big deal. It's just going to add more movement. So now I come in with the whip finisher and I stroke the fibers back so they don't get caught in the wraps. And once again, I always do a 2 whip finish. I find it's just stronger, it's more durable. And if you spend the time tying these, they should last a few fish. So once that's done, come in with your scissors and cut nice and close, and your fly's done. Bring back the fibers, give it a twist, and then hit it with a torch. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.